equation is an equation that can be written in this form. So this is what we said yesterday, but instead of having it equal to 0, it was equal to y, right? We had y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Same thing, right? Same equation. But when it's written in this form, this is what we call standard form, okay? So whenever it's written in standard form, this is really easy for us to graph in our calculator. Wouldn't be super easy for us to graph by hand, okay? It says one way to solve a quadratic equation is to graph this function, and the solutions are the x-intercepts. So solutions and x-intercepts, those mean the same thing. So you guys told me an x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. So if they ask you for the solutions, they're asking for the same thing. Those mean the same. You can interchange those words, okay? All right, so keeping that in mind, it gives us this equation. It says to solve x squared minus 4, look at its graph. The solutions of x squared minus 4 equals 0 are the x-intercepts blank and blank. So what are my x-intercepts on this graph? Right. So this one's at -2, this one's at +2. So they're at these two coordinate points. So the x-intercepts are -2 and 2. And again, solutions, x-intercepts, remember those mean the same thing, okay? These words actually all mean the same thing. So anytime they use any of these 4 words, they're asking you where does it touch the x-axis. So solutions, x-intercepts, roots, and zeros. Anytime they use any of those 4 words, they're asking you where does it touch the x-axis, okay? So don't get thrown off because they use a different word. It all means the same thing. All right, so answer the following given our graphs. So they ask for a solution. A solution, like we said, is the same thing as an x-intercept. What are the x-intercepts here on number 2? Right, we've got one right here and one right here. He said this one's at -1, this one's at 1. So my solutions are x equals -1 and 1. Okay? Number 3 says find the roots. What does a root mean? Same thing, right? It's in our list, right? Look back up here. Solutions, x-intercepts, roots, zeros. They all mean the same thing. So I'm still looking for the same thing. So what are the roots on number 3? Where are they?
4,
One of those is right. This one's at -4. 6. So my roots are -4 and 6. So these are all x-intercepts, so that's why we're listing them as x equals that number, right? Okay. Flip it over onto the back. Okay, number 4, find the solutions. Is solutions in our list over there on the front of words that mean the same thing? Yeah. So what are we looking for? Where it touches the x-axis. Okay, so where does this one touch the x-axis? 5 and 9. +5, +9. So my solutions are x equals 5 and 9. Okay, in addition to the solutions, it actually asks for a couple more things on this graph as well. So they ask the vertex. So my vertex is where? Yeah, the very highest point, right? Right there. And you said that coordinate point is at 7, 4. Okay, so my vertex is 7, 4. Okay, so that's the highest or lowest point? Highest. So is it a maximum or a minimum? Maximum. So it's a max. Good. Okay, and then they ask domain and range. Is domain my x's or y's? X's. So range is my y's. All right, so domain. X's go left and right. My arrows on this graph go like this, right? Is my graph ever going to stop going to the left or right? No. So what's my domain? All real numbers. Good. All right, my range. Is this graph ever going to stop going down according to the arrows? No. But does it go up forever? No. What was the highest point it went to? 7, right? 7 was the, oh, sorry, 4. 4, right? The y is the up part. Yeah. So the 4. Now, do things get bigger or smaller as we go down? Smaller. So I would say y is less than or equal to that 4. Okay? All right, now we're going to do the same thing for this next one. It asks where the roots were. So does roots mean the same thing as solutions and x-intercepts? Yes. So they're asking where it touches the x-axis. Okay, and this is my x-axis, right? Does it touch the x-axis? So do I have any roots? No. So I just say that there are none. Okay. Then they ask where the vertex is. So where is my vertex? At the 2, right there. So did I go left or right any to get to that point? So the coordinate point here is 0, 2, right? So we didn't go left or right any. And is that one a maximum or a minimum? Minimum, right? Because it's the lowest point. Okay, domain. Looking at my graph, it's got arrows at the top. Is it ever going to stop going left or right? So what do I put for domain? Okay, for my range, is it ever going to stop going up? No. But does it go down forever? No. What's the lowest that it went? 2. Okay. So y blank 2. Greater than or equal to, because it's going to go up from 2, right? Good job. All right, we got one more. All right, this last one says, the function h of x has zeros at -4 and 2. Zeros mean where it touches what? The x-axis, right? Flip it back over on the front. Look at all those 4 words that mean the same thing, right? So if it says it has a 0 at -4 and 2, so these 4 words here, guys. All these 4 words mean the same thing, right? So, hold on just a second. Let me finish this question. All right, so on this one, we've got zeros at -4. So I'm going to put me a 0 at -4 and a 0, it says, at 2, right? Okay. Then it says that the range is all real numbers less than or equal to 9. If it's getting less, does that mean my graph has arrows pointing up or down? Down. Okay. So from here, I'm going to have arrows that are pointing down from these 2 points. And it wants us to finish sketching this graph. So we've already got the first part, right? Okay. So first they ask for the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is where we do what? What does symmetry mean?
The same.
The same. So that's where I can do what? Fold it. Yes. Okay, so if I'm going to fold it, I fold it in half, right? Right down the middle. So it has to be in the middle of these 2 points. What number is in the middle of -4 and 2? -1, right. -1 is right in the middle. So that means I must have my line at -1. So I got x equals -1. Okay. Then it asks for the vertex. Okay, so we have our function as having a vertex that is going to be somewhere up here, right? Because we said our arrows are going down. If my vertex is up here, is it a maximum or a minimum? Maximum. Okay, and I need to figure out where it's going to be. So we know that it's at the -1, right? Because that's where we folded it in half. We need to figure out how high it goes. Well, they said that the range was less than or equal to what? 9. So apparently the highest this thing goes is at 9. there's my vertex at -1, 9. All right, so now that I have that point, I can connect these, make it look like a parabola. Okay, it asks for the x-intercepts. Where are the x-intercepts? And good. Then it asks for the roots. What are roots? The same thing. So I've got roots at -4 and 2. Then it asks for the solutions. What do solutions mean? Same thing. -4 and 2. All right, then it asks for domain. Is this thing ever going to stop going left and right? Nope. Okay, range. They told us actually what the range was. They said it was all real numbers less than or equal to 9. So I'm going to have y is less than or equal to 9. Okay.